You only want certified mail? Okay. I once worked for a company that provides therapy to children. The company owner was not licensed, credentialed to do this, but he hired me. I got hired, did my job, supervised the other workers, kept all files electronically, and kept the data up to date. Everything was HIPAA compliant. As time passed, I found out he was committing insurance fraud. I knew I wanted to report him and quit. However, due to the type of therapy I do, I didn't want to leave the clients without therapy. They didn't do anything wrong. I decided to give my boss 4 weeks notice so he could hire someone else and I could transfer care properly. My boss didn't like this plan or the fact that I wanted to quit, so he terminated me on the spot. I thought this was reckless of him, seeing that now he had no one on his staff who could legally supervise the therapy and sign off on clinical notes. I was the only one who could. When he fired me, he started slandering my name and telling lies about me. I work in a small area where everyone in my field knows of everyone else in the field, and I wasn't about to have my reputation tarnished due to his lies. I hired an attorney to write a cease and desist letter. It was sent to him certified mail. He didn't like this either. He reached out to me and said the company needed all of their materials back as well as client data. He said he would only accept it in certified mail. Of course, I wanted to send the books and materials I had back to him as well as transfer the data to him. But it didn't make sense to send hard copies of the data. It would be a lot easier to securely email the graphed data I had. It would also make it easier on whomever took over my caseload, as the data system and graphs would already be set up for them. I tried to explain this in my email reply, but he wasn't having it. He replied, "I will no longer reply to you. I told you to send all materials in certified mail, and that's what I expect to happen." Cue malicious compliance. I printed all of the raw data and graphs I had. This ended up being about 200 pages worth of information. When it printed, it looked all wonky and extremely difficult to read across that many pages. As I was packing the books, materials, and 200 pages of printed data into the box to be sent, I accidentally dropped it and the papers scattered everywhere. I picked them up, but they were all out of order and impossible to tell how to put them back in order. So I just boxed everything up out of order and sent it to him certified mail with signature. I know he received the package. I don't know what he had the person he hired after me do, because what was sent to him was unusable. Hard to read prints of the data. The only thing that I think could have been done was to have the new person recreate the entire system, decipher the order of the 200 pages of data, and input it manually. This would take many months. Maybe next time he won't be such a dick and he'll listen when his employee says it doesn't make sense to send hard copies of the data. Edit. I did report him to insurance fraud investigators. From what I've gathered after the fact, his old company no longer exists. A few years later, he opened a new company. I don't know what he was doing for the 34 years in between, and I don't know how he runs his new company now. If you found out he was committing insurance fraud, why didn't you go to the authorities with the evidence? Is sending PE through the mail to a non-provider HIPAA compliant? This is way better than my ex-wife's old boss. He got busted for simply banging his patients. At least this a-hole's patients were well cared for. At least until you left. Please tell me he had to pay for the delivery and you weren't responsible for the costs. I don't know what he was doing for the 34 years in between. He was trying to put all of the pages back in order. I wonder what dropping a line to the medical fraud guy's about. Maybe checking out his new business, nudge nudge, would do. You know you can report fraud and continue working, right? You should go to one of the healthcare insurance fraud whistleblower attorneys and get compensation for turning the company in. BCBA? Thank you for using the word Q correctly, since he appears to have another business now. Give an anonymous tip to the authorities to tell them about his past, and that if anybody reports something in his proximity, it might be worth combing through everything. You could have just put a USB drive in an envelope and sent that certified. I don't understand how certified mail turned into printed hard copy. In the end, did you call the fraud police? If you didn't, why? I'm pretty sure having patient records at home unsecured is a HIPAA violation. Paragraphs. They help avoid walls of text.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.